What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for tuning back in. Today we're going to be discussing the exact lift kit components that I run on my 2008 Jeep Grand Cherokee. You can also run this same lift on a 2005 to 2010 Jeep Grand Cherokee, as well as the 2005 to 2010 Jeep Commanders. They all have the exact same under suspension components, so anything that I mention on my Jeep carries over to the Commanders as well. So starting off with the front, I'll try to run through the whole list of suspension parts. I have the Bilstein. I don't remember if they're the 4600s or the 5100s. I'll put them on the screen now to correct myself. But I have the Old Man Emu HD springs underneath there. And then I have the JBA upper control arms for a lifted Jeep. I believe that's all I have in the front. I'm still running my stock sway bar in the front. Most people go with extended links, which comes with a super lift, but I haven't really worried about that. In the back, it's a little bit more complex, I think. Yeah, it is. So I have the, again, the Old Man Emu HD springs. These HD springs are designed for towing, essentially, or so if you run a winch in the front or you have a V8 in the front, they recommend the HD springs, or if you have a combo of both of those. Mostly, so the HD springs are designed for more weight in the front. Obviously, I have the 3.7 liter V6, so there's no weight in the front, but I'm prepping just in case I go with a steel bumper or I install a winch or a hidden winch mount in the front. That's essentially what those are for. In the rear, they have the Old Man Emu HD springs, which is what I have as well. These are designed for people who tow a lot. As you guys know, I just recently added a hitch, so I might actually try to tow something someday. But the HD springs also just compress less, so they give you a higher height, essentially. In the front, that's definitely important if you're trying to smash like super big tires and you have like a heavy engine. You definitely want to go with the HD springs. But the HD springs do not ride the greatest in the front. I will admit to that. The medium duty springs, so if you don't have the weight in the front already, the springs are gonna ride super stiff, is what they'll feel like, but it's just because they are, they're harder springs, obviously. So back to the rear, I have the Old Man Emu HD springs. I have the 2-inch Rough Country spacer lift in the back, not in the front, just the back. And then I have the Fox 2.0 shocks and a Rusty's Offroad Trac bar. See if I can get you guys some back shots down here so you can see. So this bar going across here is the Trac bar, and then as you can see down here, this is the Fox 2.0 spring, and then the Old Man Emu, or Fox 2.0 shock, and then the Old Man Emu spring. And then at the very top up here, you can see this rusty looking thing. That is the Rough Country spacer. I don't think I'm missing anything else. I think you can catch it right here. Okay, so for those of you who put a large lift on here, the first thing that will stop you in down travel is this this upper control arm will hit the top of your gas tank skid plate. So when I had my lift installed, I took a grinder and I was very, very careful down there, and I cut out a piece of my skid plate just so I can have a little bit more down travel, because it was very easily hitting on the gas tank skid plate. Obviously, you don't want your axle, if you get your Jeep up in the air and your axle falling down on this side, it would essentially push against the force of your gas tank skid plate pushing up. And in Jeeps like this, your gas tank skid plate holds your gas tank up, so you don't want to push down on that, essentially. So I just took the liberty to cut that out extremely quickly. So I have the factory upper and lower control arms in the rear, factory lower control arms in the front, along with the front sway bars. Now in the rear, I did end up deleting the sway bars. I would say you can probably keep them if you want. The problem was when we removed them, we broke a bolt. We broke the head off the bolt, so the head fell off and the rest of the bolt is still in the sway bar mount hole. So we just said forget it. not gonna try to drill and tap it and then put it all on just to put stock suspension components on a lifted Jeep. I just didn't want to go through the hassle at the time, and I've just kept it off ever since. So that is essentially the totality of my lift. I have a bunch of other like upgraded and advanced components on my Jeep, but we'll have to cover that another day. I do have some added skid plates and all that stuff, so the skid plates hold most of the stuff up. So like I said, we'll cover that some other day. But that in totality is every lift suspension component that I have on my Jeep that makes it sit the height that it sits at. So if you guys have any questions, definitely don't be afraid to leave a comment, especially if you're wondering how much lift you'll get from certain suspension components. I know with our Jeeps it's extremely tricky to figure out like what settings are what and how to get so much lift. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to shoot me a DM or leave a comment. I'll help you wade through those. I've kind of considered and helped other people with just about every single lift kit, except for anyone above 6 inches and up with a super lift. And no one's asked about that, but most people who want like 2 to 3 inches, but then want to maintain like a good ride quality, or they just want to go the cheapest way and safest way possible, I have plenty of options for that. So if you have any questions, just shoot me a DM, like I said, or leave me a comment. If you guys did learn anything from this video, make sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, it'll help the channel grow, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
I'm not trying to own you. I just wanna know what it feels